Worsening pandemic, reports of entire staff in a Beijing company working from home for survival. Rumors, CCP defense industry corporations cut salaries, central enterprises utilize renewal exam for layoffs. Special economic zone shock, Qianhai of Shenzhen plunges into recession. The rising trend of self-harm and ending of life among Chinese teens, experts delve into root causes. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Worsening pandemic, reports of entire staff in a Beijing company working from home for survival. In the midst of the so-called mycoplasma pneumonia outbreak sweeping across mainland China, online rumors indicate that half of the employees at a company in Beijing have contracted additional viruses. The company has reportedly authorized a decision for all employees to work from home, ensuring their survival. The information was posted by Lin Bewley, a self-proclaimed popular social affairs blogger with 180,000 followers on Weibo. Lin Bewley mentioned that yesterday, he received a private message stating that half of the company's employees have tested positive. He also shared 2 screenshots depicting employees from a company in Beijing seemingly all returning home to work remotely. Initially planning to work a bit more to earn extra money before the new year, they now express genuine fears of earning money but losing lives. Lin Bewley said that he heard this morning that one of the employee's girlfriends tragically passed away, and the employee is currently on the verge of a mental breakdown. They have all decided to go home, prioritizing the preservation of lives, hoping to endure this winter in good health. Lin Bewley further stated that the new variant of the coronavirus is estimated to be on the road to development and growth. Although it's currently in a trough, we still need to be cautious. Young people can initially withstand the first or second positive results while working, but it may be challenging to continue with the third, fourth, or fifth positives. Therefore, the strategy of continuing to work after testing positive may be difficult to sustain in the future. So, we estimate that the phenomenon of labor shortages may gradually appear next year and the year after. On October 24, the renowned health and medical blogger shared that there have been numerous cases of fourth-bout infection in the outpatient department recently. He urges everyone to wear masks properly. Expressing despair, some netizens commented that they feel as if they are dying. It seems like they are experiencing a fourth-bout infection. Rumors, CCP defense industry corporations cut salaries, central enterprises utilize renewal exam for layoffs. The economic crisis within the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, is worsening, with rumors suggesting that even prestigious military-industrial enterprises affiliated with the system are implementing substantial salary cuts. A post circulating on mainland Chinese social media on November 15 stated, "The winter has arrived for military-industrial enterprises." The author revealed that a fellow doctoral graduate in Shijiazhuang faced challenges during a job search. When the author recommended applying to the 54th Institute in Shijiazhuang, the response indicated that senior classmates were struggling to continue working there due to a 50% salary cut. Public records show that the 54th Institute, or the 54th Research Institute of China Electronics Technology Group Corporation, employs over 8,500 people in military technology research and development. Screenshots included in the post suggest that salary cuts are not limited to the 54th Institute. Other military-industrial enterprises are also implementing reductions, with some experiencing a 30% wage decrease and others having their performance bonuses halved. Additionally, in chat screenshots, netizens also revealed that all state-owned enterprises are initiating salary cuts under the guise of cost reduction and efficiency improvement. Earlier posts indicated that central enterprises, state-owned, introduced a new layoff method, notifying employees with third-party contracts about a renewal exam. Failing this exam results in automatic dismissal, and the decision relies on behind-the-scenes operations by the leadership. Many employees have stopped exam preparation, recognizing that relationships with leadership matter more than exam results. The post concludes with the statement, "The prosperous days for central enterprises are also drawing to a close." As previously reported, public servants throughout China faced numerous salary cuts, and in some regions, public servant salaries remain unpaid. Reports suggest that certain administrative districts in Beijing may need to borrow money from wealthier districts to meet salary obligations. Special Economic Zone shock. Qianhai of Shenzhen plunges into recession. The deterioration of a special economic zone reflects the grim new reality of China's economy. Qianhai, Shenzhen, has changed from its previous prosperity to now falling into depression. Experts attribute this shift to changes in the business climate in China and Hong Kong, coupled with deficiencies in Beijing's decision-making framework. Qianhai, often hailed as the special zone within a special zone, is home to the Qianhai-Shenzhen-Hong Kong Modern Service Industry Cooperation Zone, a project initiated in August 2010. Positioned on the shores of Qianhai Bay in the western part of Shenzhen City, this area encompasses the Qianhai Bay Bonded Port Zone established in October 2008 and the Shenzhen-Qianhai-Shikoh Free Trade Zone founded on April 27, 2015. Recent interviews conducted by Reuters with 10 executives, investors, real estate experts, diplomats, economists, and 10 local workers reveal a desolate landscape. Half-empty skyscrapers, deserted shopping malls, and underutilized highways are among the reported signs of decline. Commuters expressed dissatisfaction with the region's lack of appeal, and there are allegations that the area has abandoned its reform aspirations. Despite claims by the Qianhai Authority that over 100,000 companies, including major players like HSBC, UBS, and Standard Chartered, have established branches in the area, reports from real estate agents, executives, and investors suggest that many registered companies never relocate to Qianhai. Some entities rent offices there for tax benefits and to maintain favorable relations with local authorities. Data from global real estate consultancy and agency Knight Frank indicates that, despite Qianhai's lower rental prices, the office vacancy rate reached 28.9% in the third quarter, nearing its highest level in 3 years. In comparison, Shenzhen's overall vacancy rate was 23.2%, while Beijing and Shanghai reported rates of 15.1% and 17.1%, respectively. The causes behind the abandonment of Qianhai. According to Mr. Li Hengqing, a Chinese economist, in terms of geographical advantages, Qianhai serves as a channel between Shenzhen and Hong Kong. If Hong Kong prospers, Qianhai will prosper along with it. Hong Kong used to be the largest financial center in Asia, with free movement of funds and the rule of law. However, since the anti-extradition movement was suppressed, all of this has disappeared. Hong Kong's economy is in decline, and a large amount of capital and talent are leaving. In addition, Shenzhen itself has been in decline in recent years. According to Li Hengqing, several large real estate companies, such as Evergrande, Vanke, and Country Garden, are all registered in Shenzhen, and these companies are almost dying. The economic environment is very bad. Many public services in Shenzhen had to be compressed some time ago. Qianhai, as the bridgehead of Shenzhen, is also affected and there is no follow-up support. Mr. Xie Tian, a professor at the Aiken School of Business at the University of South Carolina, said on November 17 that Shenzhen's decline is actually synchronized with the ebb of China's so-called reform and opening up. He said, Shenzhen was developed in the past because of Hong Kong and the so-called reform and opening up. The world's factories were located in coastal areas. Now the entire Chinese economy is in recession, and Hong Kong is also in trouble. The support inside and outside Shenzhen has actually been lost. It doesn't have any advantages anymore. Free trade zones are all fake. In January 2020, Qianhai introduced a free trade account system. Beijing stated that domestic and foreign institutions and individuals in the Qianhai-Shikoh Free Trade Zone can use FT account-related businesses. FT account, free trade account, is a free trade account. Simply put, it is a bank account system that integrates local and foreign currencies and is freely convertible within the account. It is independent of the traditional account system and implements separate accounting. State media touts Qianhai as China's Hong Kong, a future international technology and financial center, a test bed for liberalized market and information access. But as China enters a growth slump, Qianhai may never achieve the international status it craves. According to Mr. Li Hengqing, when Xi Jinping came to power in 2012, signs of economic decline were already showing. A large number of foreign businessmen wanted to withdraw their investment, and domestic businessmen also wanted to transfer money overseas. The authorities wanted to make the RMB freely convertible, thinking that holders of foreign currencies would not run away. The biggest achievement at that time was the Shanghai Free Trade Zone, which began to experiment with the free convertibility of RMB like the US dollar. As a result, a large number of companies did not go to work after registering in the Free Trade Zone, and it became a re-export place to engage in foreign exchange and transfer money. The Chinese government quickly called a halt. Years later, Shanghai's RMB free convertibility is still in a pilot state. Mr. Li said that the situation will be the same if the RMB is freely convertible in the Qianhai Free Trade Zone on a trial basis. He said, "The overall, China, environment is not good. There is no use holding RMB, and you will be cut off at any time. You want to take it and run away. This is the general trend." So whether it is Qianhai or Shanghai, or the later approved 21 free trade zones, they are actually all fake. Everyone deceives Xi Jinping together. Beijing's decision-making failed and reform and opening up came to an end. Mr. Li Hengqing said that China's development over the past many years has a common pattern. It is believed that as long as the house is built, people will naturally come to rent and move in. But now the situation is completely different. Now no one comes after the house is built. He believes that what happened in Qianhai is also a failure of the high-level decision-making of Beijing. The decision-making system of Beijing does not have different voices. It is often formed by the top leader. It is the same from the central government to the local governments. The action is quite fast, but the faster the action, the greater the damage. Mr. Xie Tian said that Beijing's so-called reform and opening up has come to an end. The external market has shrunk, private companies have been suppressed internally, and the state has advanced and the private sector has retreated. Now the problem is not the special zone, but the entire economy is in recession, which will then lead to the political disillusionment of the CCP. This is the most critical issue. The rising trend of self-harm and ending of life among Chinese teens, experts delve into root causes. Recently, there has been a noticeable increase in depression and anxiety cases among Chinese children and adolescents, sparking widespread attention and discussions on the overcrowded child psychiatry departments in Beijing, just over a month into the new school year. Official data highlights a concerning statistic, indicating that only 14.24% of Chinese children and adolescents meet the standard for psychological well-being. In contrast, the National Mental Health Report points to a high screening rate of 24.6% for depressive symptoms among teenagers. The 2022 National Depression Blue Book underscores the prevalence of depression patients under the age of 18, constituting 30% of the overall surveyed population. Within this demographic, 50% are students, and 41% of these students have taken a leave of absence due to depression. Dr. Lin Hong, a child psychiatrist at Peking University 6th Hospital, shared her experience of providing psychological therapy for teenagers for over a decade. She noted a rising number of children with psychological issues, ranging from upper-grade primary school students to high school students, with some attempting self-harm, leaving parents puzzled. Li Yuanhua, a former professor at Capital Normal University, attributes the surge in psychological issues among teenagers to distorted educational views in Chinese society. Under such distorted educational views, societal, school, and family education exert invisible pressure on children, intensifying the burdens they face. He added that another contributing factor is the CCP's emphasis on indoctrination education while neglecting moral education. Many children become addicted to the internet, games, or exposure to unhealthy content. Combined with the growing societal pressure in China, some of that pressure is transferred to students, resulting in severe psychological problems in primary, middle, and high schools. Li Yuanhua emphasized that the prevalent use of instrumentalism in psychology falls short in addressing human psychological issues. It treats individuals as objects, mechanically examining their so-called psychological reactions and formulating responses based on that. Humans, being living beings with morality and social norms, pose a challenge beyond the scope of psychologists to solve. In response, the Chinese Ministry of Education recently established the National Student Psychological Health Consultation Committee, aiming to research psychological health initiatives in primary, middle, and high schools nationwide. The committee is mandated to organize major events at least once a school year to evaluate the psychological well-being of students in these educational institutions. However, Dr. Jonathan Liu, a professor at the Canadian College of Traditional Chinese Medicine, critiqued the committee established by the CCP for issuing mostly empty and deceptive reports, providing no substantive help to children. He argued that these social problems are precisely created by the CCP's authoritarian rule. Dr. Liu further explained that the CCP's educational system blindly follows the Soviet-style education, imposing significant pressure on children through indoctrination. Children lack the freedom to think, and the tactic of drilling children with large amounts of information forces them to memorize so-called standard answers. The CCP has set up constraints for children and parents, akin to dancing with shackles, making better education a significant motivation for many parents to immigrate. So, what are the solutions? Dr. Liu pointed out that the gradual deterioration of mental health among Chinese teenagers is attributed to the CCP's indoctrination of a survival of the fittest ideology, resulting in a surge in campus violence incidents. Chinese children are inundated with deceptive narratives from CCTV, focusing solely on party loyalty and neglecting human values, thereby promoting the CCP's culture, which is the fundamental issue. According to him, the current generation of children is experiencing a noticeable breakdown in moral values within society. Traditional culture underscores the interconnectedness of an individual's spiritual and material aspects. For instance, the 7 emotions are intertwined with human health, highlighting that a sound mind contributes to a healthy body, fostering a complementary relationship. So, where does a healthy psychological state originate? Dr. Liu asserts that it essentially stems from traditional culture. The values embedded in this traditional culture, emphasizing truth, kindness, benevolence, and morality, represent legitimate spiritual values. This altruistic value system has the potential to create a positive feedback loop in society, ultimately fostering the overall well-being and healthy development of the entire community. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.